Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Mindset Podcast. I'm Jane, and I'm really happy you're here today. In this episode, we're going to talk about something that can completely change the way you learn English, and that is listening. Now, I know many English learners focus mostly on speaking. They want to speak fast, speak confidently, and sound fluent as quickly as possible. And honestly, that makes sense. Speaking is exciting. It feels like real progress. But here's the truth many people don't realize. Before you become a good speaker, you first need to become a good listener. Listening is actually the foundation of language learning. The more you listen, the more naturally your brain starts understanding pronunciation, sentence structure, vocabulary, and even grammar patterns without forcing yourself to memorize everything. So today, I want to help you understand why listening matters so much, why many learners struggle with it, and how you can improve your listening skills in a simple and enjoyable way. So grab your coffee, relax, and let's begin. When people start learning English, they often believe learning must feel difficult all the time. They think, if I'm not struggling, I'm probably not improving. But that's not true. Language learning does require consistency and patience, but it does not need to feel painful every single day. In fact, when learning feels too stressful, many people eventually quit. And I completely understand why. Most people already have busy lives. They have work, studies, responsibilities, family, and personal problems. Not everyone can study English for 6 or 7 hours every day. That's why it's important to learn smarter, not harder. And listening is one of the smartest skills you can focus on, because it improves multiple areas. At the same time, when you listen regularly, you start noticing how native speakers pronounce words, how sentences are connected, how emotions are expressed, and how conversations naturally flow. Without realizing it, your brain begins copying those patterns. That's exactly how children learn languages. Before children speak, they spend months simply listening. They listen to their parents every single day. They hear the same sounds repeatedly and slowly. Their brain understands the language naturally. As English learners, we can use the same method. One thing I want you to remember is this. You do not need to understand every single word while listening. This is one of the biggest mistakes learners make. They hear one unfamiliar word and immediately panic. Then they stop focusing on the entire conversation. But listening is not about perfection. It's about understanding the overall meaning little by little. Even native speakers don't always hear every word perfectly. So relax. Your goal is progress. Now let's talk about one of the best ways to improve listening skills. And that is combining listening with reading. This method is extremely powerful. For example, you can choose a simple English book and listen to the audiobook while reading the text at the same time. Why does this help so much? Because your brain connects pronunciation with spelling. You hear how words sound while also seeing them visually. This improves pronunciation, vocabulary, focus, and comprehension. And honestly, it also makes reading much less boring. Sometimes when learners read alone, they lose concentration very quickly, but audio keeps your mind engaged. Even 10 or 15 minutes every day can make a huge difference. Another amazing method is creating your own English audio recordings. Yes, your own voice recordings. At first, this might feel awkward, maybe even embarrassing, but trust me, it works. You can record yourself talking about your day, your goals, your feelings, or even random thoughts. Then later, listen to your recording again. When you do this, you begin noticing pronunciation mistakes, grammar problems, unnatural phrases, or words you repeat too often, and that awareness is extremely valuable. Many learners are afraid of hearing their own voice in English, but you should not fear mistakes. Mistakes are proof that you are learning. Every fluent speaker once sounded awkward too. Remember that. Another fun exercise is pretending you are a guest on a podcast. Imagine someone interviewing you in English. They ask questions like, what is your dream job? What do you enjoy doing on weekends? What country would you like to visit? What motivates you in life? Then answer those questions out loud. This exercise improves both speaking and listening at the same time. And the more you practice speaking naturally, the more confidence you build. Confidence is very important in language learning. Sometimes learners actually know enough English, but fear stops them from using it. They worry. What if I make mistakes? What if people laugh at me? What if my accent sounds strange? But accents are normal. Everyone has an accent. Even native English speakers have different accents depending on where they come from. Your goal is not to sound perfect. Your goal is communication. If people understand you, you are succeeding. Now let's talk about something very important. The type of content you listen to matters a lot. Many learners choose content that is far too difficult for their level. Then they become frustrated and lose motivation. Instead, choose content that is interesting, comfortable, and mostly understandable. Maybe you enjoy cooking videos. Maybe you like travel vlogs. Maybe you love fashion, fitness, gaming, business, or self-improvement. Use your interest to learn English. When learning feels enjoyable, consistency becomes easier. And consistency is more important than intensity. Studying 1 hour every day is much more effective than studying 8 hours once a month. Small progress every day creates big results over time. I also want to remind you that passive listening alone is not enough. Many people play English in the background while scrolling on their phones and expect fluency to magically appear. But active listening is different. Active listening means paying attention. It means noticing new words, sentence patterns, pronunciation, and expressions. Sometimes pause the video, repeat sentences, write down useful phrases, interact with the language. That's when real learning happens. Here's another important point. Do not compare your English journey with someone else's. Some people learn faster. Some people have more free time. Some people started earlier. That's okay. Your journey is your own. Language learning is not a competition. Even if your progress feels slow, you are still improving. And honestly, many learners quit right before they start seeing results. Don't give up too early. Fluency takes time. I know there are days when motivation disappears. You feel tired, busy, maybe even discouraged. On those days, do something small. Listen to one short podcast episode. Watch one English video. Learn 5 new words. Small actions still matter. You do not need to be perfect every day. You just need to continue. And finally, I want to leave you with this thought. English is not just a subject. It is a tool that can connect you to new people, new opportunities, new jobs, new cultures, and new experiences. Every time you practice listening, you are slowly building a new version of yourself, a more confident version, a more capable version. So be patient with yourself. Learning a language is a journey, not a race. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I hope this episode encouraged you and helped you feel more confident about your English learning journey. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to English Mindset podcast and share it with someone who is also learning English. And remember, the more you listen, the more naturally English becomes part of your life. Keep practicing, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.